Good morning, students. This is Dr. Morgan Phoenix coming to you from Stanley, Virginia. It's a gray, overcast Sunday morning. I'm going to do this video early today as we have a program for a grandchild that lives with us in the household here, a band and a choir concert at the high school. And the 8th graders are going to take part with the high school choir and band. And our grandchild here is involved in both of those. But here we go. We're going into week 2. I hope you're feeling pleased with the course. I hope you see some feature of this course that will really add to your graduate studies and hopefully to your dissertation down the road, particularly with the review of literature. Okay, here we go. But for week 2, you'll be in chapter 2 of the text, and please do focus in on the summary portion of the chapter to get what they're talking about, and then go and look at the articles that are attached to that chapter. You do not have to read them all in their entirety, but try to pick out one or two or three of them that have some special meaning for you. Or you can go and look on the internet if there is something outside of the text that relates to the assessment for this week. You have 3 assignments. One is a chapter article assessment on chapter 2, and chapter 2 is about these contemporary social forces. You know, what is it that is impinging and impacting upon our work as curriculum people, okay? And they list a number of forces, 10 of them, and developmental tasks and levels of social forces and so on. Remember that these social forces are interrelated. They do not exist unto themselves only, okay? And they have impact on each other. And let me give you one example. There's a fellow that came to speak to us in church, Brad Huddleston, a really wonderful speaker, and he has a book out that's called Digital Cocaine. And here's a perfect example. The force number 3 that the chapter identifies is technology, because technology is just booming. Of course, we're all drawn into that. And then number 9 was lack of purpose and meaning. And in the millennials particularly, we see a particular form of purposelessness. And technology and lack of purpose and meaning are certainly interrelated there. I think you've all noticed that people who are living a life they're living a life of scrolling down on their device and seeing what people are doing out there, and that's about all. And then reacting one way or another, oftentimes in rage. Okay, but you have the assignment, so you're going to do a chapter article assessment on chapter 2 and or an article within chapter 2. I would prefer that you choose one of those articles in the text, so that it's familiar ground to everybody who reads perhaps what you put into your discussion board about that. So you have the assessment, the assessment, and then your week 2 discussion board. I think that the forum directions are very clear. Just follow them. But the one thing that I will ask you to be very cautious and careful about is in your responses to your classmates, do not simply post another essay, okay, another initial post. You are responding to what the classmate said. Begin with the classmate's name, you know, call them out by name, and then make a very direct comment on something that classmate has said. Do not go immediately into what it is you think that you want to say. You know about discussions that don't work well when everyone is waiting to present what they want to say and they're not paying attention to what other people are saying. So the discussion board is a two-way communication. Okay, so you have the article chapter assessment, number 2. You have the discussion board, number 2. And if you have any questions about either of those assignments, put them in Ask Dr. Phoenix so that everyone gets the response. Then we have another assignment that will repeat itself in week 6, and this is a leadership scripture assessment. Alrighty, and once again, look at the rubric. So for the pieces of the assessment that must be evidenced in what you turn in, what you submit. Okay, you'll be looking at leadership traits in this week and in week 6. Okay, leadership traits, and they list them six distinct leadership traits. And there's a PowerPoint there. It's very clear. It's very simple to see. And here they are. Okay, this is from one of the slides there. Okay, now in week 6 you'll get the same thing, but they're not the same exact leadership traits, because in week 6 it has to do with vision especially, whereas vision is one of the traits for our week 2 assignment here. So get these down here and make sure that in your assessment you list all 6 of them, and then you will be relating them to chapter and verse on a specific biblical leader, in this case King David. okay, or David before he was king either, from 1 Samuel. So 1 Samuel will be your resource. The leader you're talking about is David, for good and for bad, right? Perhaps, and the 6 leadership traits that you will find in your PowerPoint. Don't you love this high tech? Okay, well that's it for today then. Okay, except for I have one additional thing. I appreciate very much that everybody responded. Everybody got the exam correct for the last week's video presentation, the name of the dog. But here's one more example we have right here, and this is very unusual that this dog, whose name is My Dog, that's M-Y, then a capital D, and then O-G, My Dog, one word. And this is my dog. This dog picked me out. I did not pick it out. I picked it out because I like this dog because it's perfectly symmetrical. Symmetrical. There's no single white paw or something like that, and so I chose this dog based on its symmetrical features. And it chose. I don't know why it chose me, but it continues to do so, and it's right here. It doesn't usually sit on my lap for these presentations, but that's my dog. There'll be no test this week. I hope you saw this video in its entirety, and that your assignments are. I hope you do really well and everything. At this level, you're supposed to. Let me just add a little aside on that. This is a bonus, all right. You know, I've written 2 books, and one was a memoir from a number of years ago, 3 years ago, and then I just came out with a novel, and this is based in familiar geography and history and biography, and it's Elizabeth's story. It's a great book, and this picture I took with a flip phone at a school where I once attended. This book is from my heart. You know, I've got a good experience, a lifelong experience in writing and an ability to write, and this is for each and every one of you who maybe struggles with composition or with revision or with editing, that kind of a thing. Get some help if you need it, especially at this level, the doctoral level. Those 2 books, I purchased an editing service just because I thought maybe they might catch something that I did wrong, some typo. Well, in each of these cases, of the 200 or so words, or 200 or so pages that are in each of these books, there were at least 10 or so, not so much typos, but conventions that I had not observed, and particularly with regard to dialogue. But get somebody to help you with your writing, even the best of you. You know, do a read aloud just to see that the word flow is there. And get somebody to look at very basic grammar conventions, especially if you have trouble with that. Okay, and there's a great online writing center at Liberty University. It's for free for students, and do take advantage of that if you, by any chance, have made it this far in your graduate studies with some writing skill issues. But do take care of that, and I will make it very clear to you if I think that there's something you need to get some help on. So, and presenting my 2 books there. It's simply a matter of expression of regardless of what level or what your experience is, there's always somebody that can offer some very good help with conventions in writing and in presentation. You want your words and your thoughts to be honored by the audience out there. So if you ever need any help, make sure you get it. All righty. Thanks very much. God bless you all. I hope you're enjoying the course. I hope it's worthwhile for you, and we'll see you next time, Lord willing. Bye-bye.